he wants to consign about 100 of his watches.
Is that my number or is that your number?
Took 2 weeks to get here. When they got here, they were fake.
We're here in a private airport.
A meteorite is just something else.
I have my word and I have my name, so I'm not gonna ruin this.
Business is rocking and rolling. I can't complain.
And I wasn't really buying his story, but I was kind of rolling with it.
Do not sign for it.
You're seeing us take this small rebranded company to hopefully a much larger company in the coming years. Welcome to the behind the scenes. This is where the magic happens. But on a serious note, I wanted to address something that came up this weekend. There's been a lot of comments about how, even though I've been preaching for weeks that we do not wear consignment or owned inventory, there was a story that Alfred posted where he was wearing a watch and he said he sold this Panerai, and all of a sudden a lot of people are saying, oh look, Alfred's wearing a consignment watch or owned inventory. That's not the case. The watch that's in question is this RM 6701. Several weeks ago, we had addressed this watch. This was a watch that is owned or was owned by a very great client of ours. He personally allowed Alfred to wear that watch. This was not a watch that was on consignment. It was not a watch that was ever in our inventory. If you guys look on our website, we never posted it on our website. We never took any product photography of it. It was never advertised on any of our social media. Again, because we were never selling this watch. It was something where a very good client allowed Alfred to wear it because of their relationship. Now, since then, in the last week, one of our investors purchased this watch and now owns it personally. Again, this is not a consignment watch. This is not a watch that Grand Caliber owns. It's not even on our books. Our investor allowed Alfred to wear it. So I know that we don't get the benefit of the doubt, especially on Reddit, given the prior ownership group, but we are trying to make a change. For the record, we do not wear any consignment watches or even owned inventory. Every watch here that's worn is a personally owned watch or given to us with approval by the client. Now, just to get this out of the way too, you guys will see this in the coming weeks. Victor used to own a Submariner with a pumpkin dial. He's now since traded that for a vintage Pepsi. So before you guys start to speculate on that being a consignment watch or owned watch, that is now something that Vic personally owns. Again, I hate to address this over and over, but it's something that's really important to us because this is a big policy change that we've installed in our business. And it's just not fair when, you know, people speculate on things that, again, aren't even consigned or even not even in our inventory. Back to your scheduled programming. Thank you.
Good morning, welcome back to the channel. So today's gonna start out a little different. We're driving up to a good client of mine up in McKinney, Texas, and we're gonna go take a look at some cool stuff he has. He has multiple supercars, multiple planes, and a crazy watch collection. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. Stay tuned and we'll take you through it. First, real quick, we gotta go pick up the man of the hour. We gotta go get Marco, and then he's gonna come with and help us walk us through that watch collection. What's going on? Good. Hey, good seeing you.
Okay?
Hey, how are you? Good seeing you.
Good. We're here in a private airport. We're not annexed by any city. This has been here since late 70s. The people that live here. I've been here for about 8 years. I own several hangars on this road. This is a private airport, privately owned, but it's open to public. This is sort of kind of my hangout spot, happy spot. You know, we have a lot of cookout and stuff. You've seen this airplane. You've seen the classic 42. This is a brand new 2022 Ferrari F8. We ordered this car a couple of years ago, and it took 2 years for it to get here because of pandemic. And I don't know, you all know the Ferrari situation. I think Rolex may have sort of tried to mimic the Ferrari. Yeah. So Ferrari doesn't build any spec cars. Every Ferrari that's built worldwide is built for somebody. In other words, dealers don't go and order inventory.
Right.
And then Ferrari's pretty picky as who they sell cars to. Just a game that you have to play. You have to remember a family, and then there's a certain amount of time that you have to hold on to the Ferrari or sell it back to them. So this is a custom built spec, brand new. We got it a few months ago. Like I said, it took a couple of years. And that's the last V8 that Ferrari's going to to build.
So it's going to hold its value like crazy.
Well, it's already, if you look at open market, this car's probably depreciated 50-60%.
What color is it?
This is called Blanco White. It's like a diamond white with a black painted roof, two-tone. Most Ferraris are red. White is what spoke to me on this car.
How many miles have you put on it?
It's got about 1,400 miles. We drive the car. I drive my cars, and if you look inside the car,
The interior, the two-tone with like the burgundy red kind of thing. Did you do that to match the plane?
no, it's just that's just the way the color combination. The headliner is all Alcantara. It's not red, but it's like border red. Apple CarPlay is like a $5,000 option, and it literally takes you hours to build the car at the studio.
You were saying you got there early in the morning and you were there till like late afternoon.
Yeah.
Would it be too much to ask for a cold start?
The cold start on the Ferrari is not as impressive as it is on the Ford GT. Now, if you want an awesome cold start, this is the cold start key right here.
Yeah.
Of course, this is being YouTube and internet. Everyone's gonna criticize. Oh, you can't do that. It's fine.
Oh, red right out of the rip, yeah?
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt you. Looking at the 2006 Ford GT in black. They made 4,000 cars total in 05 and 06. In 06, they made about 2,000 cars, supercharged, 5.4. This car has right around 18,000 miles. It's got a tune, it's got a pulley, it's got open exhaust, a few other modifications. And we've done about 10 or 15 things to this car to make it an everyday driver. Horsepower on this car is dynoed right at 800 at the wheels. Drive it like we stole it.
That smells incredible in there. Give it a whiff.
It almost smells like an Italian car.
Dave and I were at a car show the other day and he had his F8 there. And him and I were just kind of talking to a few people around us, and then some random person just walks up, opens his door, and just sits in his Ferrari without asking. And it was just the most bizarre thing. Everyone was just kind of like shell-shocked. Yeah, so no one knew what to even say. It was just like one of those common courtesy things before you sit in a multi-$100,000 car.
I think you're supposed to get out.
Sweet, so we've looked at some cool cars, some timeless ones, and then some modern classics, and then obviously some crazy cool planes. But now it's time to transition and look at some cool watches.
Do you have a watch that's like really special to you?
Okay, so the watch that's really special to me and has always been the Submariner. This is a brand new 41.
Okay.
Bought it early January from the local AD. I've got a really good working rapport with them. I've owned and wore a Submariner since really early 80s. Yeah. First watch that I got was a two-tone Datejust right after high school, and then I transitioned to a Submariner. I've always, for the last 35 years, I always worn a Submariner, and then as they upgraded and always bought the late, when they went to scramble serial code, when they went to crystal.
So what got you into watches in general?
I mean, it's just I always wanted a good timepiece. I think it was something that I rewarded myself when I did some flight training accomplishments, and I just always wanted to wear, you know, I don't wear any jewelry, I don't wear any chains, I don't wear any rings, and just one subtle, you know, watch. And then the thing about Rolex was I knew that the money that I put into it, I was always going to get out. It wasn't going to be...
Even back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like I was running a savings account. Back then you weren't really making any money, but you weren't losing any either.
Do you remember what the commemorative moment was that led you to buy your first sub?
It's just that the watch spoke with me. I had the financial means. I had made a little bit of money, and it was like a piece that you wear that said, well, you've achieved a certain level of success at a young age. I was like in my early 20s. It's something that's reliable. It's something you wear every day. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Exactly.
You scratch it.
On.
Yeah.
You guys are subbing out, but I'm two time zone here with the planes. So what watch would you say you wear the most?
I acquired just a Datejust travel watch, but I would say for day to day, it's going to be my sub date. This is a late 90s watch. It's a 36 millimeter Day-Date, aka President watch, and this is what I wear on special occasions and on dress watches and stuff. 36.
It looks like an MOP diamond bezel.
Yep. Mother of pearl Roman numerals. Again, another timeless watch that Rolex has made that you just can't go wrong. Since I built a relationship lately with the AD, I've been able to get a brand new Tuesday Bluesy 41 millimeter. Acquired one of these watches from you, then I had an opportunity on a second one. We just got this on a trade.
Did you get that from us?
Yeah, on a trade from you guys. These other two Datejust were just offered at the local AD. And
pump the brakes for 1 second. Is this the deal?
That was the one that got confusing. Did you tell him what happened?
Yeah,
I had to explain everything.
Situation.
Well, I was on the road and I wasn't really buying his story, but I was kind of rolling with it.
No, it was true. We were getting like...
It was the most bizarre thing I've ever...
So I was just, you know,
It's one of the most bizarre situations.
So he calls me at 3:45. I'm about to go out of town and tells me about this deal. I'll try to wire the money. So I haul ass to the bank, and my banker happened to be there, and she happened to be cooperative, and she happened to just drop everything. She was doing her thing. We got the wire in like a few minutes before the bank actually.
It was perfect timing.
Actually closed. Look at this one.
quick.
Tell me what's wrong with that picture. I think we got him stumped.
Yeah,
Don't
it's one of those things hidden in plain sight.
Just off the bat is you got all the links on one side, which is going to make it wear very unevenly. You see how that's level? Okay, hold that. Of course, listen, if I have...
But the thing is,
I'm OCD, so this...
Oh, yeah. No way.
This is a huge... it's a hard pass.
Yeah.
Well, we'll fix that. As you guys saw, we got to see some beautiful planes, some beautiful cars, and some beautiful watches.
So thank you so much, David, for having us out here. Looking at that stuff was really cool. It was just a huge pleasure.
Awesome for y'all coming out, show you some stuff you don't get to see. Talk to watches, talk to cars. You know, awesome morning.
TV's off today. Someone didn't do the opening morning checklist.
Electric bill's getting high, Jimmy.
Electric bill's getting high, but we got some good news. So got off the phone yesterday with a client of ours in the past. He did a lot of business with us when we were TPG Gentleman Timepieces. This client has hundreds of watches. Last year when we were TPG, we sold about $1 million of his watches. So he called me yesterday. He hasn't done business with us because when he had his watches here, he wasn't really happy with how the watches were treated. Consignments, when they sold, he wasn't paid back on time. People would be wearing his watches and he didn't like that at all. Luckily, he's been following us when we've rebranded to Grand Caliber. He's been happy with what he's seen, so he gave me a call and said he wants to consign about 100 of his watches. We talked through what that looks like. We don't wear consignment watches anymore. If you notice, I actually put a new bracelet on this, but if you notice, our team wears the same watches every single week. We all own our watches. We don't wear any consignment watch. The only exception is if a client asks that we wear it for a specific event. I assured him, hey, we have a different process now. He's seen it, seeing that we don't wear our consignment watches, seeing how they're wrapped, seeing that we're paying consignees on time immediately. So he reached out, he said, hey, I have about 100 watches that I want to consign. I said, let's pump the brakes there, because how we market your watches with email blast, if you just give us 100 at once, I don't think we're gonna maximize the marketing for you. So let's start with 25. Let's feel out the relationship first, make sure you're comfortable, make sure that we're comfortable. Typically, these 3 cases are full of watches that we either own or are on consignment. But for this client, because he's consigning so many, likely 25 to start, we're gonna have this case specifically for his watches. I'm creating a shelf in the back that will be where all of his boxes are, just because there's just so many watches, we don't wanna combine them with the other inventory. So that's what we're working on today, is getting this display case ready, getting his box shelf ready, making sure that his watches, when they're put in the safe overnight, they go in specific boxes or watch cases, so everything is separated. Luckily, he's giving us another shot, and that's what this is all about. Our business is growing every single day. It's getting better and better. A lot of clients that we had as TPG Gentleman Timepieces are coming back to us, so that's really exciting. I think the hard work is starting to pay off, so hopefully we can leverage that 25 watches into the 100 that he wants to sell. This is pretty freaking exciting to bring in that amount of watches. You know who you are. We'll get this done.
I got your message. You wanted to do a trade for that GMT. It's the birth year.
I mean, I would, because I just like it. It's fresh, and Tiffany's just sitting in my safe. I'm like, well, fuck. If I'm gonna do it, I mean, that sounds like the right deal.
I mean, if you want it, I'll do that deal. So basically, we'll trade the Tiffany & Co. head only for the full set 16750.
And that way I can put that. That's the first date year I've seen that's fresh. My birth date that's actually fresh. So
yeah, the watch is super, super nice, man. It's really crispy, and the insert on it's really cool because it's faded to like a gunmetal blue. It's almost like gunmetal blue, where it was originally black.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, that's why I prefer it over a Pepsi, just in that specific look, because it almost looks blue. A lot of people are like asking me if it was a blueberry, but I was like, no, the bezel just faded that color. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, I already seen your watch. I guess if you want to send it up, I'll just send this down.
All right, I'll overnight it.
All right, send me your stuff and we'll knock that out.
All right, broski. Bye.
Awesome, thanks. So that's a good friend of mine, Kenny. He just traded me a Tiffany & Co. 1675 So I guess I have another Tiffany & Co. and GMT coming. And I traded my personal full set 16750. It's his birth year, so it means a lot to him. His GMT is pretty cool. At the end of the day, I don't need 2 Tiffany & Co.'s. As exciting as that is, I am happy to switch it around. So I might trade that watch out for something interesting to add to my personal collection. If you guys are interested, I have a 1675 Tiffany & Co. coming in. Super nice watch. My only caveat to this watch is the Tiffany & Co. is a little on the faded side, but it's still pretty much there. You can see the Tiffany & Co. stamp, and it's the older style Tiffany & Co. stamping, so a little bit more nostalgic, look to the dial. So I'm excited, so I think it's fair. I think it's a good deal. Thanks, Kenny, for that deal.
What's up, gentlemen?
Yo, what's going on?
I guess I didn't get the Chick-fil-A memo.
Trent!
Why is it so quiet in here?
It took me about an hour and a half between us and Joe and like getting people the correct info. If I wasn't here, man, I would have had to do the old template.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it. I mean, like I said, CRM's 3 to 4 weeks out. We'll be on Salesforce. So
That's 4,000 in gross for the day. So
let's go.
yeah.
Where you at?
1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you at? Nothing. That's true. What are you at?
I'm about half of what he has.
So nothing.
Nothing.
He had a big day yesterday, though. Like just quiet, subtle. I want to get your guys' opinion on a couple things. We're going through, obviously, with various changes, making some changes to sales count. What we're thinking about is changing, obviously, the percentage to something more attractive, but also offering you guys incentives from a bonus structure of what I call ramp rate and then monthly bonuses as well. So monthly one would be a friendly competition. There would be a bonus for whoever sells the most watches, whoever does the most profit, and then whoever has buys that lead to the most profit. So those are 3 different bonuses that you can get all 3, you can get 1, someone else, whatever. Those happen every month. Then there are what we call the ramp rates, which is profit that you bring into the company, and that would be a 3-month number, a 6-month number, a 9-month number, and a 12-month number. If you hit those numbers, there's a certain bonus that's attached to it, and it would vary. It'd be depending on what level of sales are you. Are you the sales rep? Are you senior sales? Or whatever the case may be. That's what we're thinking. We'll let you guys know Friday, but I just wanted to see if there was anything that you guys really wanted to change besides just the margin itself.
The whole buying stuff sounds like I don't think that needs to be done because I mean they go to 2 people for numbers. So
Right.
Is it them really buying it or is it me buying it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're compensating them based off of somebody else's number too. You know what I mean? So I think it's just
That's why
a little.
there's not a direct commission towards it.
Yeah.
It was $100. That's what it used to be. If we buy a watch, that person gets 100.
But how does that work with source deals? Is that still a buy?
No. You're commission because let's just say you buy a watch for 1,000, you're selling it to Alfred. You're getting commission on that deal.
Right.
That don't count. I'm saying like if a retail
Buy for
guy,
inventory.
right?
Here's my argument to that. If you find something and then you ask me or Marco what the price is and you get that for a very healthy price, is that my number or is that your number? You know what I mean? So it's like it's just like
You're just telling me, hey, buy it at this.
I get it.
Now I
bro.
gotta tell my
You
guy
wouldn't
this.
have-
He may be saying, oh, well, can you do more? And now I'm doing this. I'm the one fighting
You're
for
still
it.
negotiating.
Yeah. Yes, you told me the number.
But you got it because of my number. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's literally all I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I don't think that buys are necessarily like need to be compensated.
Well, one time
It's-
I worked for a full month with this guy who wanted way too much for his watch, and I got him all the way down. And then when I finally got him to agree at our price, it was so good they kind of sold in 2 seconds. And that's where I was like, man, it would be nice to get compensated for buys. Because you work it was like 3 weeks straight, and then it came in so quick, and you had the client right there for it.
I see what you guys are saying.
You were on a separate pay plan as a buyer that we weren't on. So you were getting technically paid. For
No,
that.
I know, but again, like even though I was getting compensated for it, those were still like my numbers.
Yeah.
If Eric came up to me and was like, "Hey, how much should I buy this watch for?" I say 13,000. He's like, "Yeah, I got it for 13,000."
You're gonna tell us a number that's low. Like if we get it, it's great. But then imagine every client we tell a low number to. Now we already gotta overcome all this.
Again, if I told you a great number to begin with,
Yeah.
and you negotiated that even a slightly bit, you started at my number.
Let's ask the viewers.
So it's only
Let's ask the viewers.
Let's
ask the viewers.
So that's why I don't think.
What should we be paying these guys? Do we want them to be borderline homeless, or do we want them to actually make some money?
Man, look
Let
at-
us know. I want to get this on camera in front of Marco here. Francis, we're trying to get you links.
Okay, this is the most insane thing ever. I don't know. I have ordered these wings for the last 3 weeks. Then it took 2 weeks to get here. When they got here, they were fake. And then the fake links, we had to send them back. Now the guy's telling me now we have to order links from overseas. I mean, I just got off the phone with Alex, and he's telling me like,
Can't we get links from somewhere else?
yeah, I'm trying to, trying to be as cost effective,
Oh, Jimmy likes cost effective.
I do like cost effective. The story here is Francis is a client of ours. You might have seen him in the comments. He purchased a watch from TPG under the old ownership group and did not receive what he bought. I mean, it was missing links. He hasn't been able to wear the watch for a year because it's too small to fit his wrist. He bought a watch. It was missing 2 links, so he hasn't been able to wear it. It was missing a box, even though it was supposed to be complete. We sent him a box about 2 weeks ago, but we've been trying to get the links. Marco has been working with our watchmaker, working with a watchmaker. They came in, they were fake. Good thing Marco caught it. It's just a little bit annoying for the client because they've been waiting for so long for these links, but we're trying to do right for whatever they experience with whoever they bought it from before. We just want to make it right. So Francis, sorry, we'll get it done.
And that wolf foot fell off again.
Again?
Yeah.
Man, look here, man. I don't know where this thing came from, but I'm about tired of looking at it. I think we need to do something creative with it. What do you think?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Okay guys, so today is Jimmy's birthday. We have to be quiet because we're surprising him. We are ordering in Perry's for lunch. You know, it's Friday, so everybody has to get to pork chop. And we also got him a cake, which is hidden in the safe right now. So we should be having a lot of fun today.
So this morning a FedEx delivery came, and from what I understood, it said it came in like this in a small box. So guys out there, do not ever tape labels directly to the Rolex box. That is a huge no-no because it is going to damage the box. Thankfully, it wasn't shipped like this because that would have been nuts. But yeah, this is very frustrating because you see what it's doing to the box.
It's going to destroy the outer shell, right?
And it's already peeling up the outer shell. And it's a brand new watch, so I'll have to rebox it. That's what it is.
Deja wanted me to ask, are we splitting that commission?
Yeah. Cool.
I had been working on a deal for the past couple days while I was at home sick. I was at the very end of the deal, and I had Marco step in and he closed it for me.
This is just the aftermath of taping up a box. It's pretty ripped up sides. This is just kind of off topic. It's just something that just kind of happened right now. Anytime, and believe it or not, I have to tell clients to not do this, but anytime you ever get a package and it looks like that, do not sign for it. There's a giant gash in the side of this FedEx. Yeah, it happens, and sometimes it's fine, but I absolutely wouldn't sign for that.
Hey, I'm gonna call this guy. This might be perfect.
What is that? He's got a call out for it?
Alex, he put a call out. What should I quote him on this?
35.5. I mean, but if he needs it, he might be able to sell it for more. So I would say 35.
What watch is it?
This guy roller Oyster Flex. What's up, my man?
Yeah, sorry about that, bro. I was like running around.
Superstar.
That's you, bro. Come on.
Man, stop.
Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
I have a client, man, trying to trade out a couple pieces. I'm literally just, man, that is me making zero. I'm just being upfront with you, So I'm trying to make anything will help. I just want to get it going.
You can't do 34?
Well, I've got an offer from another guy at 34.5. The target was 35 on that piece.
I'll pay 34,000.
I have an offer at 34.5.
I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging too.
An offer of 34,000 in my label. Will you say yes?
No.
That's fine. 34,000 is all. I really appreciate it.
Listen, I think the market's moving fast now. I'll call you back in 20 minutes and it'll be 34.5, right? You'll see it in the dealer chats.
34.5.
You want to take it for 34.5?
Yeah, I mean,
it's something.
You gotta make something, man.
I gotta make something, bro.
I want it 34.5 and that's all. If I know how retail clients are, so.
All right.
Whatever.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you, man. Nice talking with you.
All right, later, bro.
So long story short, what we ended up doing, had a client who had this piece here. Beautiful piece, but price has been coming down on everything, so he doesn't want to have pretty much 35,000 tied up in that. He'd rather liquidate that into some pieces that's going to be easier to move. So he's going to go with a Batgirl, which I have coming in, and a Starbucks.
So guess who came back today? Alex is back. He took, a week and a half?
Yeah.
A week and a half in Italy.
Pretty sweet trip.
pretty sweet trip.
Yeah, it was really
I've
cool.
never been.
It was once in a lifetime experience. We got to go to the Star Wars villa.
Oh yeah.
Where they shot like Attack of the Clones and stuff. Yeah, it was sweet.
Did you go where they shot 007 too?
Yeah.
Go Casino Royale. That's a spot that I really want to go.
It was cool.
Disregard this. We got some touch-up paint I got to do. You know how I love to paint. I had to fill some holes, and we're working on that. In terms of the business, I mean, this is arguably the best month we've had all year. So sales are rocking and rolling. I know for the last few episodes, we've been talking a lot about the CRM. You keep hearing about the CRM. It's a big component on what we are trying to accomplish. And here is some of the workflow that we've been working on. So we did sign that contract. Now we got to build out the platform. This is really every single way someone can get in touch with our team. Email, calling, SMS message, Facebook comments, Instagram message, Instagram comment on the web, filling out different form submissions on the web, WhatsApp, which is arguably the most tricky of them all because we get a lot of messages internationally. Think about a phone number perspective. It's a 2-digit country code followed by X amount of digits depending on the country. A lot of times like our current CRM system, when an international number comes in and we try to respond through the CRM, it doesn't go through. So we're working on the automation, the workflow of what will happen when people reach out from these various sources. So this is a big project that we're working on right now. Besides that, like I said, it's been really busy. A lot more clients coming in. Sales have gone way up this month in August. I don't know if that's an indication of the watch market or just our business is starting to pick up. Either way, we're gonna take it. We love that. The big things that we're working on right now is actually launching our sports marketing campaign. Some of you guys might know we've been partnered with the American Athletic Conference, the Big 12, and SMU. We went to SMU to check out what our signage is going to look like on the field, throughout the arena, or the stadium in this case. It's a busy time. Kickoff for college football is just right around the corner. This is a new audience, so we're really excited about that. Business is rocking and rolling. I can't complain. Hopefully we can keep the momentum up throughout the remainder of this month and then start September strong. It's getting into the back half of the year, which is our busiest time period, going towards the holiday season, so I'm excited.
Team lunch today?
Team lunch today. Did you get that? Can't show you what this, well, it's our insurance company, Jewelers Mutual. There's a lot of personal information on here. What we did was increase the carry limits. A lot of times we take watches to our watchmaker to get polished, to get repaired, whatever the case may be. Did a very extensive review on our insurance policy. Last thing I want to do is be not fully insured. Probably not the most exciting thing, guys, but this is what I geek out on. This is what is the foundation of the business.
They're extremely hungry, Deja.
I'm extremely hungry.
You didn't go over budget, did you?
I might have gotten myself a little treat.
I guess that's what happens when you order it.
Right. This pasta looks different than I thought, but it looks good. Like it's
What
full-fledged.
kind of noodles is it?
It's like spaghetti noodles.
Spaghetti?
But it's like full-fledged steak on
Yeah?
top, like huge pieces of steak.
Game planning. I'm telling you, Grand Caliber is going to be massive in 2023. We got big plans. Obviously, it's a slow growing process, but you gotta have that excitement. I got fired. Just kidding. We got some food. What's the first step? We gotta wash our hands. Let me introduce you guys to Deja when she's done washing her hands. I think you've seen her on the last few episodes, but we have never made a formal introduction. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Deja.
What do you do here, Deja, besides get us fantastic food?
I usually am in charge of team lunch, but I also handle all of the client relations. So oftentimes when you call the main line, it's me who's picking up, and I'm usually who's reaching out to you, letting you know that we received your consignment watches, letting you know we're shipping something out to you, confirming details, all that jazz.
Head of client relations. This is why our reviews have gone up, our customer satisfaction has gone up, our food has gotten better, all of the above. Ooh, man, you can't just leave your stuff hanging around.
Look out, Jimmy. It almost gave you some love, man.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Make it weird, dude.
Since I'm on camera, I have to count how long I'm washing my hands for. That's a big thing, you know?
Yeah, the internet police has got 30
Yeah,
seconds, Woody.
you gotta really scrub. Don't want to get called out. You guys ready for some lunch? Alfredo?
Yes.
Victor, lunch? Where are we eating today?
We are having lunch at Perry's today. It is Friday, which means the pork chop lunch is offered at a discounted price. So half of us got pork chops because they're delicious. We also got some really yummy pasta, and we got some salmon as well.
Are you medium rare or what did you get, Jack?
Salmon.
A little light? Yeah. Matt, what'd you get?
That's pretty good.
I got the same thing Alfred did. Bring it back in here, Alfred. I'm gonna get some shots of it right quick.
You have two right there.
I can leave then.
Nice! Look at these pork chops. Hey, can one of you guys go get our photographer, Alex? He just came back from Italy, so he's on a diet. He got a salad. We the boys.
Damn, Eric actually took off running.
That 40 speed right there. What'd you get?
Pork chop. I had to see what it was hitting for.
Matt, is Vic at 5,000 followers yet?
I don't know. Vic says no and don't bring it up.
Alright, I guess we're not flying anyone out here. Alright, Matt. B-roll time.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Oh,
Shall I knight you now?
am I the first Asian knight?
Yes.
Thank you guys. We've had a really good month. So appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting in, from sales to operations to, what the hell is this?
Happy birthday!
We just had cookies so many times this week. This is why YouTube is starting to see that this tummy is starting to get out, you know? Ooh. Alright guys, let's dig in.
Jimmy gets the first piece. Because I thought of that, and that's a great idea.
Yep, definitely don't fact check that.
So we got something really cool that just came into the shop. If I had to stick with one watch for the rest of my life, it would maybe just be this watch right here. So it's the Meteorite Pepsi, the 126719 BLRO. So it's full white gold with a literal meteorite dial. So at some point in life, this will get discontinued because Rolex only has so many meteorite dials that they can make because they have a literal meteorite. Took the saran wrap off of here. Just want to double check the condition. We'll go through a whole authentication process, but first thing, we just like to make sure that when we buy a brand new watch that it is brand new. It's pretty flawless to me. No real hairlines or anything like that. These high polished center links, it's called PCLs. I mean, they can get scratched with, you know, a strong breeze in the wind. It can be tough keeping these things really mint. You can go in and outside and you will see hairlines all of a sudden. So we just like to make sure when we're buying something at this caliber and price that it is, you know, perfectly clean, and this one is. That meteorite is just something else. So, and it's cool. It's white gold, so it looks like it's stainless steel. There's a little bit of a tint. You kind of have to know what you're looking for. So those who know kind of know. But I mean, the weight of this thing is just, it's just crazy. You obviously know it's not stainless steel when you hold it. White gold is cool. It's kind of a sleeper, but that meteorite dial, I mean, it just kind of speaks for itself.
I'm looking things over, and then I'm like, yeah, this has clearly been repolished. Obviously, Vic had a hunch it's been repolished, but then when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, for sure it's been repolished, because under the lip you can see hitting from the polishing wheel. You can see
there is a different solution for this case, so
Sure.
you know, because, listen, at the end of the day, I have my word and I have my name, so I'm not gonna ruin this for
No,
one
I
watch,
know,
okay?
I know you won't.
But I also want you to be fair with me.
Yes.
So there is a different solution then. Just send me the watch, and I need to pay you right now back the 2 weeks ago price.
Well, I mean, it would be in exchange for what was paid for. We're not reselling the watch to you. You know what I mean? What did you sell us the watch for? Is it $28,500? I mean, dude, listen. 2 weeks ago, the watch. Listen, the market. I'll be honest with you. The market hasn't dropped too much on these in the last 2 weeks. $28,500. What you sold this for?
It's okay if I give you compensation, then you can sell the watch for whatever you want.
What do you mean?
To give you like a $500 off, and you can keep the watch.
No, we can't do that. I mean, look, what we bought it for is very, very fair in the market. I don't see an issue with you reselling the watch because, I mean, I just can't stock it. That's the problem.
At the end of the day, you're just saying the only option is that you're sending the watch back.
Unfortunately, that's the way it kind of looks right now, and I'd like to work with you. Now that I got my eyes on it, it's. I mean, whoever bought it wore it for a month or whatever, and then they just repolish it to sell like new. Because I mean, if you don't know what you're looking at, it looks good, but if you know what you're looking at. And they put let me tell you how I know 100% without a doubt in my mind the watch was repolished. The bracelet was put on the wrong way. So how can you?
Yeah, you heard. I heard everything. I know everything. And
No, I know.
You guys, I didn't even argue with you about it. I don't say that you're not right because I know you have professional eye.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying because the time frame that's happening, and I'm gonna lose money on that for sure.
You're not going to lose money. If our cost was $28,500 on the watch, that's still not a bad price at all for a like new slider or whatever. I just can't stock the watch right now. It's not that I wouldn't. I mean, believe me, if I was in any other terms right now, I would take the watch, no problem. But just right now, the way we're rolling and operating, we just can't stock it right now. Does that make sense?
No, I understand.
Yeah, and I hate to put you in this predicament. I hate to be in this position with you because we only want to do good business with you. It's just a matter of, you know, the situation we're in. in the situation we're in with the client, like obviously we have to make sure we satisfy the client, and I can't with this piece.
Okay.
I would be happy to swap it. I mean, if that would work for a brand true new, but I don't think we have that option.
No, I don't have another one.
If you had another one that was true new, then I would give you that window. I'd be like, sure, just swap it out for a brand new one, then we won't have a problem. We can move on and we can just go about our day. But if I don't have that option, I have no choice but to get a refund for this piece and then just move it to another piece that I can satisfy my client with.
Okay. And you sure that any compensation not gonna work?
Unfortunately, not in this case.
Okay, no problem, my friend. So send it back.
We'll cover label, obviously. It's not. I mean, I feel at least that's the least I can do. And thank you so much for being a gentleman about the situation. I'm I hate that we're in that situation together, but I mean, I appreciate the way you handled it.
That's okay. Things happen. No problem.
All right, thank you so much. Typical stuff in the wholesale industry. We bought this from a wholesaler, and they didn't know. I trust that it just went by them and went over them. But basically, the watch has been repolished. Under the loop, I can see issues with the brushing. I can see porosity from the polishing wheel. There's a lot of little telltale signs that a watch has been repolished. You really need a good loop to tell, but basically when you look through the loop, it almost looks like there's very, very light hail damage. If you know what to look for, you'll see how that's causing issues in the polish. That's the sign, and unfortunately, we have to send it back to the guy, and he's been really cool about it.
Rolling.
Rolling, Jimmy. Give me a smooth intro.
Welcome to another segment of Ask Us Anything. I do want to give a big shout out to some fans that have been with us since day one. They go by the name of Jen and Ben. They're from Manchester, UK. Thank you guys for the support. Wanted to give you a big shout out, and welcome to another segment of Ask Us Anything. So Matt, what do you got for me?
Tomos Lucas says, hey guys, absolutely love the new updated grain caliber content. What you guys are doing is awesome. A question I have as a viewer from the UK, do you guys ship internationally?
This one's a tricky question. We can ship internationally. Most of the time, if we do, we have the client or the buyer pay for the shipping label. The shipping is very expensive. There's also import taxes, duties, VAT, things like that you have to consider. So sometimes it's not even worthwhile to buy a watch here and ship it internationally, because when you calculate the entire price, it's very similar to buying a watch from over there. Can we do it? Yes. Will we do it? Yes, but do we do it frequently? No. Something that's interesting is we are working on potentially a grand caliber Europe, or at least doing a partnership. We're still working that behind the scenes. That's a big project. But if that happens, that would be really cool.
Speedy One says, here's a question/petition. Is there a chance of showing the team's EDC, everyday carry?
That's a good question. I'll show you what I got right now. Okay, I got my phone, my second work phone, my wallet, which is a really nice hand-built one in Minnesota. I also carry a pocket knife. So that's my everyday carry. Oh, and then obviously a watch, Rolex Submariner. It's my go-to.
Kale Hog says, question, what are the best watches for the new buyers in the sub 5K range, 5 to 10K, and then 10 to 15K range?
So 5K, first thing that sticks out to me would be the Tudor brand. I think you just get so much watch with the functions there. Generally speaking, around the 2 to 3K, so leave some bread on the table there. If you go between the 5 and the 10K, I would say right around Datejust 36, because you can get not the most basic configuration. You can go fluted, Jubilee, and not break the bank. Still up under the 10K mark, anywhere between 10 to 15. It opens up some doors. You have sport models such as Submariners, GMT functions, or you can still stick with the Datejust route as well.
Man named Sue says, question for all. What is the next watch everyone is realistically working on getting, and why? Doesn't have to be your grow watch, but a must-have next for the collection.
Off the top of my head, which probably means I want it, is like a 15400 or a 15500 AP. I could see myself actually like buying that one for like a personal. Even though Alex from Luxury Bazaar did send me a RM5 that he seen super cheap in one of the chats, and it got us talking, but I'm not there yet.
Something that's pretty close on the horizon is going to be the Pepsi on Jubilee. So the 126710 BLRO. I really want one. It's my favorite GMT. Pepsi's great. Jubilee's awesome. So that's my next want to get and probably keep for a while.
Vicky Lane says, what is the long-term plan for the company, meaning 5 to 10 years from now? Then the question goes on, last sentence, greetings from Finland.
Finland, man, we are getting a lot of love from abroad. So thank you guys again for that. What's the 5 to 10 year plan? Whew, that's a long ways away. I'm taking it day by day. We want to grow this company to as big as it possibly can. In 5 to 10 years, I would envision a few more locations. What we tell our team here is that if you work hard, eventually we want to expand. This will always be our headquarters here in Dallas, but it wouldn't be surprising to have maybe some satellite offices, maybe 1,000, 1,200 square feet, something small like a boutique shop. And we tell our team that, hey, you know, if you work hard, if you guys really start to understand the business, we would love to send one of our team members out to a new location to start a new store. Honestly, I just want to grow this company to be as big as it possibly can. That doesn't necessarily mean just the numbers, but just the brand recognition as well. That's why we're entertaining some of these different marketing styles that aren't traditional to a gray market dealer.
STJ says, question for Marco. Do you think in the upcoming years that vintage will trump modern overall? I personally think vintage is the best bang for buck from a horological standpoint.
Vintage long term is going to outperform modern watches. You haven't seen vintage watches behave on the market like modern watches, meaning you didn't see, let's say, a red sub go from 30,000 to 80,000 back down to 20,000. You did not see that. Okay, what you guys saw was the Panda Daytona go from, geez, I don't know, 27,000 to 55,000, now back to 25 to 27,000. Kind of just rebounded right to its price point. No vintage watches really did that. They really kind of blipped up, they blipped down, but they're an investment that you can put away and knowing that your watch is always going to have a strong value and a return for dollar.
Da Vinci 8 says, question for the AMA. Have you had any regrets so far with the company or anything?
No regrets. Not even just here at work, but in my personal life. It's either a lesson or a blessing. You learn from anything that you've been through, and those lessons got you to where you are today.
Big Al Ozark Wildman says, great video guys. I really like the way things seem to be coming together. Are you guys still doing the big watch shows like in Miami?
So we still are doing some of those shows. We just haven't done a booth in a while. We do plan on doing a booth probably starting November, I think was the plan. They're not allowing any cameras except at your booth. So because we don't have a booth, we can't have Matt kind of following us around inside the show. So when we do go, me and Marco have been, we went to Las Vegas, but I think the next one that we'll go to is probably September.
Juan Kelly 1004 says, is Jai still being coached by Anthony? Love the new channel, guys.
Nope.
Pat Chung says, AMA for Marco. For a mid-90s 5-digit GMT, how can you tell if the bezel insert has been replaced? What's the normal level of patina on the bezel insert for those years?
That is a very tricky question. And the reason that's a very tricky question is all goes down to who wore the watch, where the watch was, and its elements. If the bezel insert is a service, then we'd know that it was replaced at some point. But if it's a period correct bezel and it was just changed out to another watch, there's really no way to tell. I mean, I'll give you this much. If I saw a NOS looking GMT with a very faded bezel, then I would say it's pretty safe to assume somebody installed that bezel for the look. But what you want to look for is consistency, right? If you have a very faded bezel, then you want to look for maybe a weathered case, maybe a weathered dial. The bracelet has some weathering to it, you know, and it shows kind of areas where it all kind of comes together. It's almost like if you waxed your car, if you waxed one fender and left the rest alone, it would probably look weird. You know, so it's kind of the same concept here. If I took a very weathered watch and replaced the insert, then it might not fit the rest of the bill.
With that, that is another segment of Ask Us Anything. Now, before I let you guys go, I'm gonna do a new thing every week. I'm gonna do a comment of the week. This week, this comment comes from The Faction. It's nice to see the different level of organization and maturity in the office. Great content. I have an impeccable BS radar, and I think you have a great team there. Well done. I will start watching again, or I will be watching again. That is awesome to hear. Look, we're working really hard every single day. We don't script anything. I mean, a lot of times you'll see me stutter. Matt will do what he can to cut it out, my stutters, but look, nothing scripted. This is what we do every single week, and that's why some episodes are a lot more thrilling. Maybe some aren't as thrilling, because we don't plan anything. This is really the day in the life of our business. I mean, some days are great, some days are tough, some days are boring, but you're seeing us take this small rebranded company to hopefully a much larger company in the coming years. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the new content. Thank you guys for the support, and we'll see you next week.